Hi, this is J.T Realmuto. Welcome to the Phillies Show.
Hey, Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, Todd Zolecki. It is Tuesday, December 2nd, 2025. I hope everybody, including you, Ruben and Jim, had a great Thanksgiving, had a great Thanksgiving weekend. But dare I say, nobody had a better Thanksgiving than Ranger Suárez. In this sense, Dylan Cease on Wednesday signed a 7-year, $210 million deal with the Toronto Blue Jays. And if I'm Ranger Suárez, I'm going swing.
He's throwing a party.
He's throwing a party. He's throwing a party. We've said from the very beginning that we don't think we would be surprised if Ranger Suárez is back with the Phillies. But what do you guys make of the Dylan Cease news and what this means for Ranger Suárez?
Well, in the free agent market, in the free agent game, in the free agent season, comps mean a lot. Not, a classic comp. You're talking righty-lefty. You're talking a guy who's really durable in Cease and a guy who has not been as durable as he would like to be in Suárez, but still two really good pitchers. And, you get a contract like that, $210 million over 7 years. It's $30 million AAV. It raises all the boats in the harbor on the pitching side. So Rangers should be happy about that because I think he was on that short list with Cease and others of top free agent pitchers. But you're right. We've been talking all along that he probably won't be back. And I'd be very, very surprised if he was back. Their focus remains on the catcher and the big slugger. So, but Rangers going to get paid. He's going to get paid. I think it might go on a while, though, with him.
I think you're right about that, Jim. I think that unless they get something that would be close to Dylan Cease, somehow, some way, Boris is going to try to figure out, some team to convince them that Ranger Suárez should be paid more on an AAV or more on years or something. I don't think that he should. I think the reason why Toronto jumped up is because, one, Dylan Cease has had some great track record, and he's had some durability, which Ranger has not had. The one thing that you got to do in Toronto is overpay people because they're in Toronto. And I think that Toronto was really aggressive with him because they saw what the Dodgers did to them. Got to get as much starting pitching as you possibly can. They've been sort of shunned the last few years on trying to get into that, into the big time market. They got some money. They got some support. They had a hell of a year, and they want to try to build on that, try to win a World Series. So they got overly aggressive on Dylan Cease. I sort of look at this deal and think back to Jason Worth and what the Nationals did. They weren't quite as close, Nationals at that time, to getting to where they were. But I think that Toronto just decided, you know what, we're going to blow everybody out of the water and get this guy done and kind of go from there. That was probably the guy that they targeted.
I agree. Toronto's in World Series or, win a World Series or bust mode. They got there this year.
That's right.
They got a good club. They're in it to win it. And people are, they got a guy to take their money, and they signed Vlad to the $500 million deal, and they're totally looking to, not just build on. There's only one way to build on what they did in 2025, and that's win it all. So
don't be surprised if they don't make a run at one of these big bats, the Kyle Tuckers and the Bellingers, and they're trying to put themselves in a position that, like, hey, look at us, guys. We're going forward, not going backward.
Right.
So it will be interesting to see what they do as far as Bo Bichette is concerned, as far as the other bats are out there as well.
So Dylan Cease last 5 seasons, 162 starts. That's 4 more than any other pitcher in baseball. So he's very durable. 884 innings, 7th in baseball the last 5 years. 3.72 ERA, 33rd out of 85 qualified pitchers. He's 9th in baseball among pitchers in baseball B-WAR, 4th in F-WAR. And how does that compare to Ranger Suárez? Well, Rangers made 116 starts last 5 years, 143 appearances. He's got a better ERA, higher B-WAR, and F4 is a little lower, but Rangers postseason success. Dylan Cease in the postseason has like an ERA of like 8 in the postseason, limited. Ranger, of course, is 1.48 ERA, sixth best all time out of 199 pitchers in baseball history, minimum of 40 innings. And Scott Boras represents both of these guys. So I'm sure as he's pitching Dylan Cease, he's like, you want durability, you want reliability, and there's nobody better than Dylan Cease. And then for Ranger Suárez, he's probably going, don't worry about so much about the durability and the reliability.
You can talk outside of both sides of the neck.
Worry about the elite performance. Worry about how this guy posts in the postseason. So he can make two different arguments for both of these guys, and both of these guys are definitely going to get paid. But I keep thinking about the rotation. Is we've talked all offseason about how the Phillies are probably not going to re-sign Ranger. It's probably not going to happen, and I just kind of have a little bit of an uneasy feeling about the rotation in the sense of you don't know what Zach Wheeler's going to be like when he's back. Nola's coming off the worst year of his career. Taijuan Walker, number 5. You don't know what's going to come from Painter. How do you guys feel about the rotation right now, assuming that what Dave Dombrowski said at the the GM meetings is true, which is if we're going to get any starting and pitching, it's going to be more of a depth type piece. Late in the off season, a swing guy-ish type of guy, maybe a guy that starts the season in AAA. How do you guys feel about the rotation? Because I'm a little bit shaky in terms of everybody thinks, so this is the strength, but then you kind of dig into it and you go, is it going to be? Is it a lock to be a strength? I don't know.
I'm right with you in terms of concern, question mark, and the potential. The upside is very, very good.
Right.
The upside and the potential is one of the top ones in baseball. But, Zach Wheeler is going to turn 36 next year. He's coming off a surgical procedure. It's a condition that guys bounce back from. But, you still never know until you see it. I wouldn't rush him back. I would target, to me, the Kentucky Derby would be the time I'd be looking to get him back on the mound.
Get that horse back while the horses are coming.
Yeah, get the horse back the first week of May, because I want him to give me 6 strong months, and the 6th one I want to be October. So I'm not really worried about April. How could you say Nola is anything but a question mark? Who knows which way he's going to go? You feel really good about the 2 lefties. But there are question marks there. I would assume we're going to see Painter relatively soon out of the gate. If not out of the gate, maybe shortly thereafter. Taijuan Walker becomes important for depth. But they have question marks at the top, and they don't have a ton of depth. So I feel good about the potential if everything goes well. But if something is amiss, a little piece is amiss here or there, it could be an issue.
Yeah, no question. I'm right with you guys. I have concerns. Just because it's a strength, and it's their biggest strength, and it could be one of their biggest weaknesses. Mm-hmm. And so for the first time, there's some real question marks, and you cannot rely. You're definitely not going to get your whole stable rolling right out of the chute, because that Wheeler's behind, and you just don't know what you're going to get out of Taijuan Walker and Painter. I think, as you said, the 2 lefties are poised to have a good season. They came off, they were healthy, etc. But the Nola question is a big one, because it's the first time we saw breakdown in his career. And as he's getting older, and as all of those innings and all of those reps start to, that he's had in the past, has made him the most durable pitcher. He started to break down this year, and you just don't know how much you're going to get out of him. Now, he should be fresh arm-wise, should be pretty darn fresh, because he didn't rack up the innings. But there's still a question as to what his effectiveness will be. And so it's again, while it should be a strength, you never know. It could be a weakness.
You never know. We'll be right back. We're going to talk about Kyle Schwarber, J.T. Realmuto, some other rumors that have been popping up right after these words.
I have a unique holiday gift idea. It is called Superpower because Kratz, they care about you. It's a very unique health platform. It's new, and it finally gets you the answers that you need about what's really happening inside your body and what to do about it.
I got the answers. I'm on the journey of what to do about it. Why would I not want to give it to one of my loved ones in my life?
Give your loved ones something that actually lasts. That's right, Kratz. Better health and more time with you. If you go to superpower.com/gift, you get a free $49 premium gift box with your gifted membership. After you sign up, they'll ask you how you heard about them. Please mention FT to support the show. One simple lab test measures 100 plus biomarkers. We're talking hormones, vitamins, minerals, and so much more. You'll get a full health report and a personalized action plan built by clinicians, including nutrition, supplement, and lifestyle guidance.
Get after it, FT fam.
All right, we are back. Winter meetings are next week in Orlando, Florida. Hopefully there'll be some more movement than's been going on. It's starting to pick up. You can got to get a sense of it. Last week on this show, we were talking about Kyle Schwarber's free agency and how at the time, this is now 2 weekends ago, I'd heard that the Phillies and Schwarber weren't close, but not necessarily a surprise. Relatively early in spring, in the offseason, but I think we all agree that we still expect the Phillies to re-sign him. That's probably he's the favorite for the Phillies to re-sign. And ESPN's Jeff Passan said within like the last 24 or 48 hours that he thinks Kyle Schwarber could be the first big bat to maybe fall off the board, and he would kind of expect him to be signed or pick a team before the end of the winter meetings, which is kind of what we've been saying. Ruben, you've been saying before Christmas, mid-December. Jim, you've been saying for weeks, same thing, that Kyle's not the type of guy to drag this thing on. You guys still feel the same way?
Yep. He's to me, Kyle Schwarber's a stability guy. He's a family man. He's got a young family, and I just don't think personality-wise, he'd want to see this thing drag on. I think he'd like to have it done before the holidays, so he knows where he can go, where he's going, get ready for the season, and enjoy the holidays with his young family. So, I think he knows where he wants to be, and I think the team that wants him is right here, and it's just a matter of making it happen. So, I'd be stunned if it went more than 2 more weeks. I'd be surprised if it went more than 2 more weeks.
I'm going to do a little mic drop here, boys. If the Cincinnati Reds really are serious about being a contender, you sign JT and then you follow it up with signing Schwarber. They're best friends. They really care for each other. And that move, much like we did with David Bell and Jim Thome, we sort of legitimized ourselves with David Bell. Jim Thome then followed when we signed Jim sort of back to back. I can see the Cincinnati Reds jumping forward and trying to get JT done and then follow it up with, now it's a lot of money, but they've got some money and they've got some pretty good talent. I don't know if they have that kind of money, but it's possible. You never know. If I'm the Cincinnati Reds right now, and I'm the GM crawl, that's the move I make.
I wonder if
they don't have a history of moves like that. Other than retaining Joey Votto.
The Joey Votto move. They do not have a history of that, but they can build
their own guy.
They can build on it, but they also know that both those guys are huge culture guys, and Terry Francona is going to have some influence here. I got to believe that he is pushing hard to get these types of guys, if at all possible.
Well,
we hope to have them cash, but if I'm them right now, especially in that NL Central, man, it's wide open, baby. You can take it.
If I'm outbid by the Cincinnati Reds, then wow.
I would hate to be in John Middleton's office the day that goes down, if that ends up going down. Either one of those two players, quite frankly, to the Cincinnati Reds, like you said, to be outbid by the Reds. No disrespect to the Reds, but like you said, they haven't really gone in that deep in the free agent pool ever. Other than
I'm just tossing it out there.
Sure.
I'm just tossing it out there because you don't get a guy like Terry Francona and not try to back it up with the rotation that they have. They got some great arms. Mm-hmm. They have some good young players, some talented kids. It's a great offensive place. If you're Kyle Schwarber, it's home for him. Woo, you just never know. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen, but if I'm Cincinnati, I'm pushing hard to try to make that move. Because that puts him right in the driver's seat, man. I think that they become one of the favorites to win the NL if they do that.
That'd be a hell of a
We've been talking about them for a year on Schwarber because he would kill that ballpark. He would destroy that ballpark. I mean, he'd have stuff floating down the Ohio River like every night. But I just and he'd be a Jim Thome like acquisition, hometown, blah blah blah, all that stuff. I don't know if the Reds would do it.
So I want to say something about culture and Terry Francona. He had Jose Ramirez for a long time. Jose Ramirez is a culture guy. He's the reason why the Cleveland Guardians have had so much success. Guarantee you that Krall and Francona are looking at this guy Schwarber and going, this can be the guy that takes us over the top. What's the best way to do that? Sign his best friend in JT and then sign him.
And I got to think that having the same conversations at the executive level of Citizens Bank Park, that we need these two guys, their character, their culture, their production, if we're going to, close the door and win this thing and, get it over the top in the next couple of years. So, I mean, it's fascinating. The Reds are a fascinating player in all this. I just don't know how serious of a player they are given their history on the free agent market, which is it's not robust.
Well, this kind of goes back to the report last week in The Athletic that the Red Sox were kind of kicking the tires on JT. And you look at it and you go like, why in the world would the Red Sox, they have so many other things that they need to do, go after somebody like JT Realmuto. And it's kind of like the book is out on JT. Yes, his offense, he's 35, his offensive numbers are down, but tell you what, if you want to bring a stud into the clubhouse, a tremendous clubhouse guy that can game plan the crap out of an opposing offense, who can adjust on the fly in game, call a great game, who can control the running game, who pitchers love throwing to, you reach out to JT's guys, agents, and you go, hey, we got Carlos Narvaez. He was pretty good as a rookie. But maybe he could help this guy along. And any interest, I'm sure, the Reds see that. I'm sure a lot of other teams see that as well. You hear about the good players and how good they are in the clubhouse. You hear about the players that aren't good in the clubhouse and bad influences. So I can see a lot of kind of maybe surprising interest maybe in somebody like JT, besides the teams that just need a frontline catcher.
And they could do the same thing that the Cincinnati, I talked about with Cincinnati, and they have the cash to do it. They got the money to do it, to get JT and Schwarber, because that puts them on the map with Schwarber as well. Yeah. They got the cash to do it.
Is this all like gut feel stuff? Or
this is all gut feel stuff. I got no real feel. I mean, if I'm looking from the outside in and these guys are still sitting out there, there's some teams, if I'm smart and I know the relationship between Kyle Schwarber and JT, which is strong, you imagine getting that tandem? The thing for the Phillies is this. I'd love to have them in Philadelphia, both of them. I love both players. They would be tremendous. But, they will be running it back if they bring them both back. That's exactly what they're going to be doing, and they won't be able to do much more. So maybe it's not the worst thing in the world not to have both those guys. That maybe it gives them an opportunity to change things up and mix things up. I love Schwarber. I think he's one of the most important pieces in the free agent market for so many deep reasons. Same thing with JT. But if they sign both those guys, that's going to lock them down to not be able to do a whole lot other than that. And that's where the difficulty comes for me coming from the outside in.
Right.
Then you got to find a catcher and you got to find a power bat. The power bat
sure do.
Power bat's going to cost a lot because it's like going to be like an Alonso type or something like that.
But then you give yourself a chance to get an Alonso and a Bichette or something like that, and then maybe you go with a Marchand. I don't know. I mean, it does allow you to mix some things up. And do you do it with some of the best, most important players, or do you try to do it somewhere else? They're sort of locked into some of the other guys, so they're not going to be moving them.
Well, that would be a major shake-up.
It'd be a shift.
It would be a hell of a winter meetings or something like that.
It'd be a great winter meetings. I mean, it'd be something to talk about. And sometimes change is good, boys. It hasn't worked so far.
That's right. I would also say we all know Terry Francona really well. Rob Thompson is a great players manager as well. Terry, a great players. Terry would be a drawing card.
He sure would be.
Those two types of personalities.
And so would Alex Cora, for that matter.
Yeah.
So would Alex Cora.
Well, he loves Schwarber.
Of course.
I mean, who doesn't love Schwarber?
Yeah.
Who would not? Who would not?
I mean,
And
Schwarber's
JT,
like
both of them. Both guys are quality. I mean, I love them both, but you never know what's going to happen. It's free agency.
Right.
Crap happens. I mean, I was told not to use the S word, so crap happens.
who told you that?
My mom.
His mom.
Really?
My mom got on my ass. S I can say, S I can't, apparently.
There you go. So Jeff Passan, going back to Jeff Passan, I think it was over a week ago now, he said that JT is not going to require more than a 2-year deal from anybody in terms of
that's a bunch of BS, I think.
So I think if he's getting all this interest, would you guys be surprised if he doesn't sign a 3-year deal, or do you guys
try to push for 3?
Yeah, right. I mean,
I'm sticking to my guns. I'm saying JT's back on a 3-year deal and Schwarber's back on a 5-year deal.
Yeah. It's going to be
And
fast.
The Phillies won't be able to do anything else. They'll have both those guys back. Important pieces. I love them both, but the Phillies won't do much other than that because they can't.
Well, unless they trade an Alec, they couldn't trade him last year, but unless they trade an Alec Bohm, who's going to make
Marsh, Stott, all those other guys, because they're not trading the other guys with the big contracts.
Right. Strom at 7.5. You try to clear some payroll that way. Maybe then you get a little bit of wiggle room where Dave can go to John and say, you kick in an extra 10. We've cleared 17.5. You kick an extra. Maybe. I'm just mentioning it. You're going to have to eat Castellanos' deal, obviously, if you want to get rid of him. One other thing I wanted to mention before we wrap this up, there was another report last week, right before the holidays. JP Morosi at MLB Network said the Phillies have been inquiring about Ketel Marte. They inquire about everybody, of course, anybody that's actually has some semblance of being a solid contributor. But we also talked about him a lot in October on our top 20 trade target show. If you missed that one, you want to go back and check that out, go do it. But the Diamondbacks are supposedly actively listening on Ketel Marte. My understanding is that they would, and this is not a surprise, is that they would have to be kind of blown away to trade Marte. And they're also looking for young, controllable starting pitching. So if that's the case, doesn't seem like there's a heck of a great match between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks for Marte, unless you're going to trade Andrew Painter, because Gage Wood isn't going to get it done, right? I mean, who else?
They're not trading Christopher Sanchez.
They're not trading Jesus Luzardo. Taijuan Walker going back to Arizona won't get that done. So, he's so
no, it's going to start with Painter, and it's going to have to be Painter and Miller probably to get him.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so for a lot of reasons.
Tain't happening.
This whole checked in stuff is so funny. I guarantee you they've checked in on 25 free agents.
Of course.
And 20 trade candidates. They've checked in with all 29 other teams. I mean, they have.
That's your job as a GM.
Exactly. They have like 4 assistant GMs. You check in with agents constantly. You check in with teams. What are you thinking? They've checked in. You better check in. If I'm the owner and you ain't checking in, I'm getting rid of you.
You're not doing your job.
Ruben, was there ever a time during your GM run where there was an elite player rumored to be available in a trade, or an elite player available in free agency where you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to call anybody and ask about this guy. Was there ever?
No, never. Every single guy in one way, shape, or form, if he had some semblance of helping us, you checked in.
Even if he was
because you're not doing it, even if you know you're not going to get him, even if you know you got an all-star in a certain position, you still talk to people and you have conversations, and that's sort of the job of the GM. Every single one. Like if you're a large market team and you have a payroll that's over whatever 150 or 200 million, or now it's 300 million, you check in on everybody. Period.
Right. Exactly.
That's how you do it.
So keep that in mind, everybody, as the offseason progresses. And that's just a frustrating part as a reporter. You just somebody will say that they've kicked the tires on somebody, and you're like, then people are asking you to what's going on with this. It's like, well, are the Orioles interested in Kyle Schwarber? I mean, have they contacted Casey Close about Kyle Schwarber? Probably. Is it
They
big
should.
news? Probably
Why
not.
wouldn't you?
Exactly right. I mean,
Or he's not doing his job properly.
Correct. We've heard the Pirates interested in Kyle Schwarber, the Orioles, the Mets.
Please.
Everybody would love Kyle Schwarber.
Well, I could see a lot of people going crazy off this podcast. Former Phillies GM says Schwarber and Realmuto to Cincinnati. I can see this blowing up, Ruben.
Oh yeah, I'm dropping the mic, man. Screw it.
I mean, it's not. You can see
Not
it
out of
happen.
the realm of possibility, brother.
No, I agree with you. Not out of the realm of possibility. It's just like
That's what I would do if I was Nick Kroll.
But to see, I have a hard time seeing one of them ending up there just because of the way they do business. I agree. They're a good young team. They got a great manager.
You never know.
You never know. You never know. Hey,
Tony
everybody.
Montana's in the house.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey, everybody, if you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We appreciate the support. And the PhillyShowShop.com is open. Scan the QR code on your screen. We got all sorts of new stuff in stock. Hats, knit hats, trucker hats, gift cards, all that great stuff. And,
Bad weave.
Look at you.
Got the bad weave, man. I got the 27 head. Look at that.
You got the Austin Matthews head.
I don't know what happened to it.
Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving?
Awesome. You?
I had a good Thanksgiving. Yes. We were running around.
Best day of the year, right?
I love Thanksgiving. We went to Longwood Gardens the next day.
I'm
Yeah.
headed there this week.
Oh, it was
Awesome.
insane. It's Longwood Gardens the best. The kids love it. It's
great.
a good,
Can't wait.
get their hot chocolate. We get ours with Bailey's.
What, chocolate?
Yeah. We get ours with
Now,
Bailey's.
Jim, how was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was great. Beautiful. Lovely.
Did you have all three girls with you?
We had dose.
2 out of 3. That's a pretty good ratio.
Yeah. And then I had one of them made my new favorite appetizer.
Which is?
I never had it before, and I'm not sure it's very Thanksgiving-y, but it was tasty. Whipped ricotta with like lemon and all this stuff.
Really?
Put it on a little piece of crusty bread. Pretty
Did you
good.
put a dollop?
I put about 10 dollops.
So, okay,
Jim?
wait. Well, so side dish. What's your favorite side dish, Todd?
Mine is mashed potatoes. I love
Mashed taters.
Yeah. A good mashed potato. Real nice, Clark.
Oh,
real nice. What about you
Okay,
guys?
Jimmy.
I like a nice warm dinner roll and do donkeys in the mashed potato and gravy.
Oh, I love that.
Wow.
What
Mashed
about
potato
you,
hoagie. Sounds like a mashed potato hoagie.
How about you?
Keep stuffing it in. I will tell you this.
Boy.
My daughter and my future son-in-law put together maybe the best mac and cheese I've had in a long freaking time. It had a little crust over it, and it was moist underneath. And my goodness, it was strong. Now, obviously the stuffing, I don't call it filling, call it stuffing. Stuffing was really, really good. We have a variety of stuffings. That's always a staple. But the mac and cheese was special. Got to give my daughter Andrea some love, and Adam. They did a heck of a job with it.
One of my favorite things on social media around Thanksgiving is this mom who is just crushing her daughter for messing up the mac and cheese recipe, like the traditional mac and cheese recipe. She's like, you do all the dishes. You do it. Don't experiment on Thanksgiving. Do not experiment on Thanksgiving. You got some damn recipe off the internet. You ruined it. Do all the dishes. We're going up and I'm going to bed. This mom just read her daughter the riot act.
Don't screw up the mac and cheese.
Do not screw up the mac and cheese. Now, Jim, is the appetizer supplant your favorite traditional appetizer, which is an appetizer za?
Oh, nothing. Replace the appetizer.
He does not eat an appetizer za before Thanksgiving.
No. Just in general, that's his favorite app. That's Jim's traditional appetizer.
Because sometimes I go to an Italian restaurant, I can't decide between like entree or a pizza, so I get the pizza as an appetizer.
Get both. Why not? You deserve it.
You only live once. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, we'll be back later this week. We're gonna talk some winter meetings, and we'll see if any news breaks in the meantime.
Can't wait. It's going to be a bonanza at the winter meetings. A bonanza.
I hope so. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All righty. Smell you later, boys.
Hell yeah, Jim.
The Philly Show is brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Subscribe to The Philly Show on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.